Welcome to the 22nd devlog for Lazr. This week was focused on menu redesign and adding hidden areas. The new hidden areas look like this. Just a solid area of darkness that is revealed when the hero gets near it. This allows me to hide parts of the level, leading to secrets and harder puzzles. For this first level, I've hidden a switch inside a concealed area. The player will have to explore the level in order to locate the switch. It's a few floors up. Let's go to it now. There's the switch. Let's flip it and exit the level. Then we'll talk about menu redesigns. A large portion of this week was dedicated to redesigning the game's menus. To provide some context, here I'm playing the demo. When I press start or pause, this is the menu that appears. There's nothing inherently wrong about this menu. However, I personally feel that it has a few problems. First, it's conveying too much information. The credits don't need to appear on the right. They should be part of a separate screen. And the center area is filled with a ton of information that would have more room to be better displayed were it not compressed into this small area. The controls section should also be its own screen, so it has more area to contain all the information that it needs to display. The controls are also missing information about how to use the left and right bumpers for climbing and shooting, so this graphic needs to be updated. Let's take a look at the options screen now too. This simple screen has its own set of problems as well. These menu items are too close together vertically, and when the language is swapped to Chinese or Japanese, the text all runs together and there's no clear separation. Here's the new pause menu in the current alpha. It's simple, conveys only what is needed at that moment, and has a more cyberpunk style. It's not as centered as the previous menu. Instead, it's off to the side, which keeps the player's focus on the hero. It's quick to display and quick to close as well. I haven't completely finished it, but I have some of the menus working, such as the controls and options menu. Let's look at the incomplete control menu now. This needs some work, but the foundation is good. Let's look at the options menu now. This menu has been redesigned to only display 5 menu items at a time, and scrolls the menu items up or down as the player moves between them. It's easy to add additional menu items to this later on. This menu isn't finished and will be completed next week. Now let's compare the boot screens for both games. This first boot screen is the demo's boot screen, showing off the supported languages. This is a pretty good boot screen, so I kept most of this design and just added some more cyberpunk visual elements, like the wires. Now let's talk about the title screen. Here's the demo's title screen, which showcases the hero art on the right. Personally, I feel like this competes with the logo on the left, and also clutters the screen. I'd like to show off the scale of the game by having a city district rotating in the background. It's hard to highlight that when there is large character art covering it up. So, when considering how I want to design this screen, I knew I wanted to remove the character art. Let's take a look at the redesigned title screen now. Here is the new title. I'm much happier with this. It's a bit simpler to read, highlights the rotating city in the background better, and there's nothing in the foreground to compete with the Lazr logo. Now let's take a look at some menu mockups that were created this week, starting with the Shell Designer screen. This screen is where players select their body modifications. I've simplified mods down to 2 categories, weapons and shell mods. Weapons are the top row of mods, and shells are the bottom row. The player has a fire jet weapon attached, which is similar to a flamethrower, but more like a jet engine's exhaust. We'll see this weapon in action in a later video. Here a description of the selected mod is displayed. We can read about how much power this mod takes to equip, along with how to use it, and how long its recharge is. The second mod the player has equipped, the Dash Plus Shell mod, appears here. If we select it, its description is displayed here. When we've selected the two mods we want to use, we can press B to build the shell and close this screen. This is the mission select screen, which can be reached from the title screen. This allows players to quickly choose a mission and level, jumping into the game at any point in the story. This also allows competitive players the ability to easily speedrun specific missions, along with providing them information about those missions. More detailed information about completed missions can be found in the mission review screen. Here's the mission review screen. We're looking at a mock-up that shows the research cluster mission completed. We can see the current and best times on the left. We can see a per level breakdown on the right, with each level's time, death count, and overall grade. This screen displays when the player has completed a mission. I'm looking forward to getting these menus finished and working in the game, so I can return to focusing on designing and testing the first mission. So this week wasn't super exciting gameplay-wise, but I feel that the UI is an important part of the game and needed to be updated. I had been planning to update the UI for many months, and I'm happy that it's finally been done. It's a very simple and fast UI system based entirely on sprites and one texture, and won't be an issue for less powerful systems like the PS Vita. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.